I'd like to welcome everybody to episode 1 of the Man versus Gaming podcast. We will be doing this weekly. Just for people that don't really know me, I want to kind of tell you a little bit about myself, I guess. As far as like my social media presence, I think like 5 years ago, well, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, me and a couple friends started a YouTube channel. I kind of got people interested in it, and means that I am not actually, I don't like the whole follow for follow thing. I will never do that again. I found out firsthand how stupid it was. But well, we still had decent growth on the channel even with that, I guess. Like, nowhere near as many numbers per video compared to subscriber count, because we had like 500 something subscribers and we're only getting like 80 plays a video. But I quit that after a few years and listened to a podcast one day that said if you wanted to stream, you should just fucking do it. So I just did it, and here we are now. As far as the podcast goes, I just wanted to get, they always say if you're into streaming, you should start podcasts to help you grow. I'm very passionate about games, so I figured that would be something I could make a podcast about, just talking about news and whatnot. So that's what we're going to do today. So some of the things we're going to go over that have been going around here lately. Sekiro, should it have easy mode? We're going to talk a little bit about Blackout and Battlefield Firestorm. I've got into Path of Exile here lately, so I kind of want to touch on some stuff that's going to be happening in that. We're going to move on after that to just looter shooters like Destiny, Division, Anthem, and Borderlands 3, which I'm excited about, guys. Hope you guys are too. All right, so let's kick things off with Sekiro. So there was a game, a article released that saying Sekiro should have an easy mode. And I don't get it, you know? I can't. Okay. Let's go into it with devil's advocate real quick. So, From Software has always made hard games. Now, some people, like some of my friends, think they shouldn't just focus on the hard part. But see, me, I think that's the selling point for their games, and I don't mind it. Because the games are supposed to be hard. That's the complete thing, is going into it and trying to overcome something for a sense of accomplishment. So if you put an easy mode in that, sure, it gives people like a chance to beat the games, but it just, to me, it takes away the point of the game. The point of the game is strictly for you to overcome something and feel good about overcoming something. And like, if you even go back to like the Dark Souls games, like, because I feel Sekiro is a lot more story driven than like, say, like a Dark Souls or Bloodborne, where it's more, the story is told through lore segments on pieces of armor. But I just think it's a lot more story driven, and I feel like if you want to beat the game, like, you should literally just overcome these challenges. Don't sugarcoat it and say I need an easy mode. Practice. Like, I played the game yesterday and I died a shit ton. But if you want to, there are ways that you could play the game. Like, if you think it's hard, there's no like problem with running away from enemies in that game. They'll eventually forget that you're there, and you could run up and sneak attack them. Now, per se, that bosses, you really can't do that on, except for you kind of can because they have like 2 health bars, and most of the time you could take a health bar off by just like sneaking up behind them and fucking, you know, backstabbing them, I guess essentially is what it is. Sneak attacking them. It takes off an entire health bar that you don't even have to worry about. Now, per se, you can't do that again because after you attack them once like that and take off a health bar, they know you're there and they relentlessly will try to kill you. But I think there are ways that you can get around it being as hard as people say it is. Like, but it's just, it doesn't need an easy mode. And if you want an easy mode, buy it on the PC. They have mods. If you really want to sully the game like that, buy it on PC. They have mods. You can make it easier for yourself. Actually, I wanted to get into a point. I read an article on Kotaku, and it literally the title, it has some truth to it, I guess, but it was an easy mode never ruined a game. To me, an easy mode would actually ruin this game for the essential part of it's supposed to be a hard game. Like I've continuously said, you're supposed to feel a sense of accomplishment whenever you beat something. And if it's easy, you're not going to get that sense of accomplishment. You're just going to run through the game. That's just my take on that. It's my opinion. People are entitled to theirs, but that's how I feel. Moving on. So I think it was like earlier last week, Call of Duty. Hold up, real quick. Would easy mode run a game? No. Would it completely undermine it if the point was challenge entirely? Yeah, I mean that it would. It would suicide. It definitely would. Okay, so earlier this week, Call of Duty released the Blackout, the new map, Alcatraz. I just want to kind of touch on that for a second, give my thoughts on that. So, so it was fun. I didn't quite enjoy that it was squads only, but it was fun. So it is a lot smaller map than the other one, and I believe how it works is your team gets 5 redeployments, and after those are gone, because at first I thought your team only got 5 lives in general. Suicide, stop being toxic. You get 5 redeploys, I believe. So if your whole team dies and they die before the redeploy timer is up, your whole team could drop back down. Only takes 1 tick off of your 5 redeploys, I believe, and so on and so forth. But say one person dies and redeploys, it still takes a tick off, I think. But it was fun. If it had a solo or duos, I think it would be better because I don't really play squads. I don't have that many friends that I play games with, I guess. Maybe I need to make more friends, but it was fun though. It's very close quarters. You die fast. If you're not working as a team, you're going to die. So that's all I kind of have on that. So moving forward, I also wanted to talk about Battlefield 5's Firestorm game mode. Now, first I want to talk about how stupid I think it was for EA to actually put this out, like, after Apex. I just think they should have, like, as much as I somewhat enjoy it, it has problems, but I just think it was entirely unwanted after Apex Legends. Like, after Blackout came out, they said they were going to put a Battle Royale game into Battlefield later. It's just like, okay, cool. Maybe I play it then. But then Apex comes out and they fucking crushed it, dude. And it's just like, what room was there for Battlefield, especially being both EA games? Like, what point was there for that after that? Because I've played the game and I want to give my kind of thoughts on it. So, unlike other ones, it's 64 players, not 100. Well, when you come into the map, like they have this large map, but instead of like the other games where you could drop anywhere on the map, it already has a circle on the map, so you can only go within this circle. It's pretty cool that shut up, Suicide. It's pretty cool that the firelight, like the ring is like fire, so it goes with the name Firestorm, where it actually closes in this ring of fire. It's pretty cool. Things that I don't like about it though, the looting system is god awful. Like at this point, supposedly I read a article, they say they're going to work on that, but the loot system, it's just like when you kill somebody and they have like a backpack full of stuff, it just all falls on the ground in this big jumbled up pile, and you kind of have to have your icon on it just perfectly to pick it up. And they supposedly working on that. Something they're also supposedly working on is the ability to actually put attachments on the guns, like in other games, like where they don't specifically already have attachments. To me, it kind of takes away from the weapon tier system that they have, because they have like the 3 weapon tiers. I can't particularly remember what they are right now, but they have the 3 weapon tiers, and like the higher tier weapons come with more attachments, so it might take away from that unless they do like the higher tiers do more damage or something, which they could do and it would probably be fine. But as of now, I don't see myself playing the game that much, specifically because they don't have a duos mode, and I usually play with one person on these type of games, and it's kind of the same problem I have with Apex, but it's a little better because it's only 3-man teams instead of 4. You don't have 2 people just running off doing whatever the heck they want to. So, but let's move on after that. A game that I have really been having fun with lately, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, is Path of Exile, dude. And I know it's been on PC for a long time, but I have had a blast with the game so far. I absolutely love it. It's like Diablo. It's like that itch for Diablo that I have been needing to scratch. I didn't even know that I was needing to scratch it, per se, I guess. But they had a few announcements here in the last couple of days. But just my impressions on the game, because it just came out on PS4. I've been having a blast. I've been playing as the Shadow. The way that it works is a little different. I'm not sure if the other ones work like this, like Diablo 1 or 2, because I didn't play really either one of them. I played Diablo 3. But the way it works is kind of like the gem system in Diablo, but instead of them increasing your stats, that's how you get your skills. You put skills and then you get support skills and you link them on your armor. And it's so cool because like I was playing as like kind of like the rogue guy, but he can also branch out into like this poison like AoE attacks and stuff. So I've been kind of doing that instead of doing melee. And like I found this skill that lets me like cast a poison in an area of effect on enemies. Then I found another skill later in the game that lets me shoot like a ball at an enemy, and it makes it to where every enemy that I hit with the contagion, which is what the skill is called, takes more damage. So I only have to hit one enemy and then just all the enemies like fucking die, and it's amazing, dude. It's a fun game, and if you love Diablo, I would definitely go check it out because you'll have fun with it. So some of the announcements that they made in this forum, that in a few weeks they were going to announce the end of season event that should take place, I believe they said, on May 10th. So yeah, the Synthesis League, I believe, is going to be coming to an end in like the next month or so. They are going to announce the 3.7.0 expansion between the 17th and the 24th of May. So we're going to be getting some new news on everything that they're going to be putting into the game with the new, I guess it would be the new league, I guess is what they call it. Like I said, I'm new to this, so if I'm fucking anything up, I guess let me know. I apologize. I'm new to Path of Exile per se. But they did say that the new expansion will have a significant balance to melee. I don't know if there's something broken with melee in the game. It seems okay to me. Something I found a little buggy on the PlayStation 4, which just came out, so I'm okay with it, is it seems like sometimes you'll swing at something with a melee attack and it won't particularly hit them. And you'll have to do it a few times before it'll actually hit. But I'm sure it's things that could be tightened and fixed in the future. And they also went to say that the end date for the Synthesis League on PC would be June 4th, and the console will end when 3.7.0 expansion releases. So if you play the game, keep in mind those dates. That's what you have to get, the stuff in the Synthesis League. But also a game, I have this in the notes, but also a game that you might want to check out, like if you like Diablo, Warhammer Chaos Bane looks fucking dope, man. I'm definitely gonna get that when it comes out. I'm a fan of Warhammer, like the lore and stuff, and that game just looks awesome. So as we move on, we're gonna go into kind of I don't know if this will be a weekly thing, but if anyone knows me, I'm a big fan of looter shooters. So we're gonna kind of talk about Destiny, Division, Anthem, and Borderlands 3 to close out the podcast. So first we'll get into Destiny, kind of talk about the current state of the game, and then I kind of want to move into like the leaks that have came out. So with the current state, the Arc Week is coming. The Arc Week is coming. So if you play the game still, the Thunderlord quest is returning, so you can get that. And just go to Bungie.com, just their This Week at Bungie, if you want to know about all this. But a lot of subclass changes are coming, like way too many for me to. If I would have covered all that crap, that would have been all we would have probably talked about in this podcast, and that's not really what I want to do. But just go check it out. A lot of crap is changing, and they're also making it to where it's easier to get Gambit Prime weapon drops. I believe they said they can now come from the end of Gambit matches, and each time you don't get a drop, it increases your chance to get a drop, and eventually you're just guaranteed one. And they're also making it to where 801 is now offering all Black Armory weapon frames like every week, so you can grind for whatever you want. And I kind of want to talk on this a little bit. I think it's kind of cool how after a while they're making it to where stuff is easier to get, in a sense, for people who might not have these things yet. They've grinded for a long time and they've not been able to get them. But I don't think they ever need to move into the territory to where everything is possible to get, because there should be things that people can't get. I'm sorry to say it, but people shouldn't be able to get everything if they're not willing to. Like the Crucible weapons that you can only get by doing those ridiculous challenges. Uh, it should stay like that. Um, Kind of moving into the leaks. For D2, we really didn't have much. They said that Dark Drinker, which was the Void Sword in Destiny 1, the exotic sword, I believe, and Hawk Moon are returning in the next season, which is cool. I didn't really use Dark Drinker that much, but Hawk Moon, whenever I got it, which took me a long time to get it, by the way, it was an amazing gun. Just kind of before we get into talking about the Destiny 3 rumors, I just want to kind of give my thoughts on Destiny 2. I haven't really been playing it because to me there just has not been that much there for me to enjoy. I like Gambit, but to have a whole season dedicated to Gambit really isn't my thing. So I might come back when Penumbra comes around, but for right now, I'm kind of taking a hiatus, I guess to say, from Destiny. So we got some pretty crazy crap for Destiny 3 leaks. So I don't really want to go into the story elements of the game, but I will say there's going to be like new enemy races. Like some of the old enemy races are supposed to become allies. It just sounds freaking ridiculous. Untrue in a sense because it just seems so ridiculous from what the game is now. Because it just always felt like the game could have been like this from the beginning, but they just never had, I guess, complete freedom. But now that they do, if they can actually pull this off, but the things that were stated in this leak were more hardcore for the more hardcore players. They're supposed to have like a shit ton more of RPG elements. Which is what I've always wanted. I always wanted to like be able to make builds and stuff. And I just feel like they kind of had it in D1 a little bit, but D2 just moved way too far towards casual play. Like the casual person that plays the game, and it kind of just killed it for me. They're supposed to have PV, so player versus environment, faction-based world. Like, so you're out in the world, and like, let's just say in Destiny 2 terms, like you're dead orbit, somebody is new monarchy, you can kill each other in the world. Stuff like that, I just think is a lot better in these type of games. Like the way the Division has the Dark Zone, I feel like it's a lot more cool than something like, okay, so let's just move on to the big elephant in the room. PvP, should it stay or should it go? Me, it's like I'm on the fence about it. Because as much as I love to play PvP in Destiny, the current state of PvP is dying, and they either need to figure out a way to fix it to bring people back in, or they need to get it out. In my personal opinion, because I'm not a big PvP guy, so I say this with a little bias, and I'm sorry to people that like PvP. This isn't a shot towards you or anything, but I feel PvE lacks sometimes because of PvP, and they need to find a way to fix it. I don't know if the way of fixing it is to take it out or to separate it from PvE to where it has its own stats and such, but they need to find a way to fix it. And the thing is, a lot of people say, like, if they don't release a big expansion this September and they don't release the game next year, people are going to be up in arms. My thing is, give them time. Like, because we see it now with the Division 2, or at least I do. I don't know everybody's opinion on it. But whenever you put out a game that actually has the meat and potatoes there, take your time on the dessert, I guess, to say, like the later content, which Division is knocking out of the park. Like, as far as looter shooters go, they're amazing right now. But I feel like Destiny 3 just has to be it. It's it. If they fuck this up, there's no coming back from it. For a lot of people, they fuck Destiny 2 up and there's no coming back from it. But if they fuck Destiny 3 up, everybody that is stuck around this long, they're gone. You might still have some like diehard fans that will never leave, but you're going to lose another big chunk of your community if you don't get it right. So I think they have to take their time with it. And if it costs them pushing stuff back to later dates, do it. You'd rather have a game. You'd rather push back a game and have a finished product than to put a game out early and not. Because you're going to lose less people if you just push it out and it's shit. All right, moving on. We're going to head to the Division 2. The Division 2 has been amazing. Like I said, they're doing great in my opinion. So I just reached level 30 like literally this morning. So I'm just hitting the end game, and I have played that game so much. Have put so many hours into that game. So they put out the Tidal Basin update, I believe Friday, which added a new stronghold and a whole new world tier. Now take it, this game has not even been out a month yet, and they're already putting these updates to the game, which is just amazing to me when I've played stuff like Destiny, and don't even fucking get me started on Anthem. But it's just amazing that they're doing it right. I feel, as far as the looter shooter goes, they're doing it right. Now, it kind of turns some people off that is in a sci-fi setting. But, I mean, if you love looter shooters, I guess if you're not a fan of sci-fi, or if you are and you just want to try the game out, I recommend trying it out if you like looter shooters and you want to see it done right. And you can get into the whole modern era looter shooter thing, because it is kind of crazy shooting a guy, I guess, with 1,000,000 bullets, and it takes that many bullets for him to die. They're just regular people. But I love the game. Also, Operation Dark Hours is supposed to come out April 25th. It'll release the first 8-man raid for the game. I'm fucking stoked for that, dude. So I'll be checking that out. Let's see. So now we're going to move on to, this is probably going to be a lengthy topic. And then we're going to close out with some Borderlands 3, but we're going to talk about Anthem. Because a post came out this week from, I believe it was Kotaku, Jason Schreier, I believe is his name. And he kind of went in to talk to the people about kind of what happened with the game and why it's in the state it's in. And he got a lot of answers. A lot of answers. So just some of the notes that I have. First of all, pre-production of this game went from 2012. So not even actual production, whenever they're actually trying to, this is the process where they're trying to figure out what the game is going to be. Pre-production went from 2012 to 2018. 6 years of them doing fucking nothing. Like literally in this article, there are times, there were like a year or two where they absolutely did nothing on this game at all. It's like, what are you doing? They literally only put 12 to 16 months of actual production into this game. And it's fucking ridiculous, dude. It's like, it's like you somewhat want to applaud them a little bit just for actually putting a finished product as good as it was out. You actually want to be like, but it's just like, we shouldn't have got this. It should have been like, or it even leads me back to the point to, why did you even fucking call your demo a demo? For anyone listening, to me, a demo is a finished product where you take a chunk out of it and let people play it. A beta, which is what it should have been called, is something where you have people test your product where you can fix it. It was a beta because probably up until launch, they probably didn't even know that this game was even going to run at all. Okay, so some other notes that they had in here. They made them use the Frostbite engine, which they had to redevelop so many systems they had to fucking redevelop so many systems for the game to actually work, because they had no prior knowledge of these systems in the Frostbite engine, but they made them use it because they have to use the Frostbite engine in all their games for some fucking reason, because they're stupid. It's dumb. Let's see. Teams were constantly pulled from the game. They pulled the teams off of making this game to go work on like FIFA and Madden. Just why? If you want a finished product, I think at one point they said the engineers on the Frostbite engine literally got pulled from the team. So you expect people that know nothing, that don't know how to do the shit on the Frostbite engine to do the shit because you decided to pull the people that knew about the Frostbite engine to another game. What the fuck? For anyone who's actually played the game, there's a part in, I believe, kind of like the middle of the story where they make you go do all this side quest stuff. Like, get this many kills, get this many super kills. And you had to do a lot of it to unlock like these 5 tombs. And come to find out, they were actually going to make this like time gated in the middle of the story, like where it would take you days to complete this. And it's ridiculous. I don't understand how this game was in development for this long and it just went over. How did it go over everyone's head that it wasn't getting finished? It's like, you would think if you're like at the top, like, because after reading this article, it is not all EA's fault. It's BioWare's fault too. How, if you're in EA, don't you come down and be like, what the fuck is going on with this game? There's nothing here. And then just at the end, you're like, you got to put out something. Well, no, you should have been like telling these people that they needed to work on, they needed to kick it into high gear a long time ago. Because this is, even though your name, to me personally, the EA name is just buried in mud at this point anyways, you're just letting them further bury your name in mud. So what are you doing? Some other notes that were in there, the actual gameplay, our trailer they showed off at the E3 2017, that's whenever they decided what the game was going to be, when they watched that trailer. They didn't even know what their own game was going to be before that. It's like, really? Also, the game developers would go to like the higher ups about issues in the game, like bugs, I guess, stuff of that sort. Just problems that they were having with the game. They would just ignore them. It caused like dozens of people to leave. Like, it just seems like this game was mismanaged so bad because you had all these people that were working on the game. They got stressed out. Leaders didn't want to listen to them. People getting pulled. They didn't know what the fuck to do. People were like, there are points in this article, people were literally crying in the fucking office because they didn't know what to do. They were so fucking stressed out with depression and anxiety because the higher ups just didn't give a fuck for some reason. And I don't understand how a game could be in literal production for that long and no one just was like, where the fuck's the game? Because like at the end of 2018, after 6 years, like when 2018 hits, they only had one fucking mission for the whole game. And this one guy, I don't know his name, but big ups to him. He came in and he was like, we got to get shit done. And that's when the 12 to 16 months happened and the game actually turned out at least somewhat playable because it has so many fucking problems, dude. Like the loot systems are just out of whack. They can't even figure it out. It's like they try to fix it and they fuck it up more. I don't know. The game, I think it has potential to be something, but it is going to take some time, like a while, for them to actually get something good out of this game, in my opinion. So, we're going to move on to Borderlands 3. Well, not even Borderlands 3, just Borderlands in general before we wrap it up. So they released Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, HD on PlayStation 4, and they released a HD 4K texture pack, I believe, for 2 and the pre-sequel. And they also slipped in some new stuff. I seen, like they have like these rainbow weapons or something now. They're supposed to be even better than, I forget what they call them. I just started playing Borderlands again. It's been a long time, so forgive me if I don't remember things. I'm sorry. But they added a lot of stuff to the Borderlands remaster. They added new guns. It looks fantastic now. One thing I will say, it's kind of hard to go back to Borderlands 1 after playing 2, which I'm currently playing right now. It's like a lot more bare, I guess, which I understand why when they first made that game, there was a small studio and kind of had to grow with the games, but it's pretty cool that they put it out. The remaster, I plan on jumping back into it soon, hopefully. But yeah, let's hop into Borderlands 3. They showed off the trailer at PAX East, and it looks fucking amazing. To me, like, Borderlands has always been the looter shooter. I know it's not an online looter shooter like the rest of the games we've talked about, but it's amazing. Like the amount of just things in that game. Like they show there's going to be like walking guns. They showed off the new classes, like specifically in a newer trailer. They went more into it, I guess. But like the soldier is going to have like a mech suit that she could call in and she hops in it. And then one of the other people can actually get on top of the mech suit and like this gunner seat. Looks fucking dope. I can't remember her name. I think it was Moz. Flak was a Beastmaster, like, so you can actually control like skags and stuff. This seemed pretty cool. The new Siren had like these like freaking psionic blue arms that like pop out. It just looks so fucking cool, dude. And I believe the last one was like an older guy, so he was like a spy or something, I believe. And he had like a thing that like popped out of his wrist. It kind of looked like an eagle, like a mechanical eagle or something. So I don't know what's going on with that. A bunch of characters are coming back from the other games. I'm pretty sure it's going to be an amazing game. If you love like it's never been too serious of a game. So if you love like laid back kind of just raw humor, I guess is the way I would put it, games. It's very funny. Like it's somewhat seems in two, it's a little pushed compared to one because I played one a long time ago. It's a little pushed, I think, from two, but I mean in two, but it they're great games if you love like just collecting loot, shooting shit. You would just love the games for that, honestly, because there are shit tons of guns, like way more than you'll probably find in any of these other games that I mentioned. But kind of some points that I wanted to go over. There's a Polygon article, man. Polygon, you're fucking. I don't know much about you guys, but you're fucking stupid. I thought the article was dumb. They're pretty much saying that Borderlands 3 looks bad. And here, I'm going to read you some direct quotes from their article. The first quote, I got two of them because it wasn't a very long article. There might be new characters, but we're given very little reason to care about them. Huh. So, from a what was it, 3-4 minute trailer where they're just showing off some of the concepts, I guess, and guns, and they didn't really show off that much gameplay. It was kind of just like, we're revealing it to you guys so you'll know that it's coming, because the gameplay reveal isn't till like May 1st, I believe. How do you get from that trailer that you have very little reason to care about the characters? You don't have any reason, honestly, because it's not supposed to be about that. How can you even relate that to that trailer? It makes no sense to me. You say I can't relate to the characters whenever you actually play the fucking game whenever it's out, or they actually show a story-based trailer. Okay, Suicide says, speaking as someone in the media industry, it's about 10% facts and 90% speculation. Well, I can understand, like, saying, like, the graphics don't look as good as they could, because I mean, but to me it's like they really can't do much with that graphical style beyond what they did with 2, in my opinion. But it still looks better in my opinion. But I just don't understand how that statement could even come from what they presented, because it wasn't supposed to be like, here's the characters, care about them. It's supposed to be like, we're announcing the game so you know it's coming. We're going to give you a trailer to get you hyped. That's all it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be like, this is a character's feel for them. No, it's not supposed to be that. And the second statement that I wrote down that said, I want Borderlands 3 to be good. Before it to be good, it needs at least 1 or 2 new ideas. Okay, let's go into this and tell you how you're stupid for putting it. How do you know if there's nothing new? You don't. Because it wasn't supposed to say, here are the new things in the game either. Like I said before, it's supposed to be a trailer that just lets people know the game is coming. All of these statements, I could take them if it was like a gameplay trailer, like actual footage of the game, or a story trailer. I just don't agree with these statements at this point, because there's There's not enough there. Like you said, it's 10% facts and 90% speculation. They're speculating, and to come out and say a game is bad off of nothing is dumb to me, and you just shouldn't do it. You just shouldn't do it. You should have at least some facts before you start putting this out. Like if there's a gameplay trailer or story trailer, at that point I would have taken it as your opinion and would have said, okay, it's fine for you not to like the game. But to say it when there is no context at all behind your statements is fucking retarded, in my opinion. Okay. Sorry about that. I guess that's why we call this channel Man versus Rage, because sometimes the rage does come out, and I apologize. I don't actually apologize. I just think it's fucking dumb. And the last thing that I want to touch on before we end the podcast is the whole Borderlands 3 Epic Store debacle. I just want to give my opinion on it real quick before we go. For years, there have been console exclusives. Now, this is my opinion on it, so don't go up in arms against me. For years, there have been console exclusives. I've always been a PlayStation guy ever since PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, because I didn't really like how my Xbox 360 Red Ring, Microsoft wouldn't do anything about it. It was like after 2 months, Microsoft wouldn't do anything about it. I kind of got upset about it, and I really haven't went back to their products after that. Okay, so I've been more of a PlayStation guy. There have always been console exclusives ever since like PS2 and Xbox. Even before that, honestly, like it's always been a thing. And you know, sometimes I'll see a game that's coming out on Xbox, and because I have a PC as well, so I can get some Xbox games on there, honestly. I'll see a game coming out just for Xbox, I'll be like, man, that looks cool. It sucks I can't get the game. Oh well. Oh well. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna go on some Xbox page and say like this is the worst game ever because it's not coming to PlayStation. I'm not gonna thumbs down everything that they ever do. Oh well, I can't get it. The thing that I find funny is Steam is the big dog on the PC. But look at it like this. For me to play some of these games that I'm mentioning, I would have had to go buy a new console entirely. It's literally another platform that you could download on your PC and buy the game. You have it a lot better than I did, so shut up. That's all I'm gonna say. Shut up what you're complaining. It's another store. So what if it doesn't have functions that you want that Steam has? Big deal. They might get them one day, they might not. It's another developer. Now, well, another application on your computer, another brand, I guess you would say. The thing is, people are up in arms because they paid Gearbox to put it to give them 6-month exclusivity. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. As a business growing your platform and you're new, I don't see anything wrong with going to a person saying, we'll give you money to put this on our platform. You could have said, we want to pay you for it not to be on any other platforms. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to keep talking, but you can go ahead and elaborate on it, and I'll read it once you type it out. Or if you're on Discord and you want to hop in and get in on this discussion, Suicide, go for it. I'm okay with it. We can extend the podcast a little longer. But I just feel like I can understand where people are coming from, because like I say, I've always been in situations where there's games I've wanted on another console that I can't buy. But if Epic says they want to pay somebody to grow their new platform, I don't see anything wrong with it. And that's my opinion. And you're entitled, everyone else is entitled to theirs. That is mine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Okay, this is what Suicide said. User issues lie in the Epic Game Store's platform itself. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that the store may be monitoring the PC usage. It has already been found to effectively import your Steam friends list. There's very little in confirmation, but a lot of people think that the Epic Game Store is effectively spying on its customers. That's wrong. Yeah, I will agree completely. That's wrong. Like, they should not do that. But I don't know, dude. It's just like they shouldn't do that. But at the same time, you can't fault a business for going out and trying to get people to put game. If you're a game distributor, which is pretty much what they are at this point, they're trying to distribute games on a computer. If you're a game distributor, there's nothing wrong with going and buying the rights to a game for a certain amount of time, because they could have went to them and been like, we want this game on our store forever, we'll give you this much money. But they didn't do that. So we want it for 6 months. But even if they would have said, we want this game on our store exclusively forever, I don't see anything wrong with that either. It's called competition. It's like Steam can't be the only thing there forever. And well, they could be, but what's wrong with competition? And to say like they don't have these features, well, Steam's been around for years, and maybe they just wanted to get their platform out there because they didn't know if it would make any money or not. Maybe they didn't want to invest in all of these things, and then this thing that they just invested all this money in just flops. You don't know. No one knows. Yeah, I think it's fine for Steam to have competition. Are they the best store? Are they as good as Steam with features and such? No. But it just came out. And like I said, what's wrong with, something coming out and not being good as something that's been around for, like Suicide said, 15 years. Something that just came out compared to something that has been out 15 years. It should have came out with all of the features that Steam has. Why? Why does something new coming out have to be as good as something that's been around for 15 years? Just think about that in your brain. But that's as far as I'm going to go on that. All the things we talked about today, besides the news, the hard facts, were my opinions. You're entitled to yours. But I think that's where we're going to have to wrap up the podcast for today. It's been fun doing this first episode with you guys. For all the audio listeners, you could come be a part of this. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's going to be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you could come hang out and do like Suicide said, put your input. We might even take callers eventually if we can get enough people interested in it. But you can come check it out on twitch.tv/ManVersusRage. That's ManVersusRage, and is all together, no spaces or underscores or any of that stuff, just all together. You can come hang out with us. Thank you guys for coming to hang out or listening to episode 1 of the Man versus Gaming podcast. I love each and every one of you. All I gotta say is if you find this entertaining, share it with some friends, get them hooked on the podcast too. I love each and every one of you, and I hope all of you have a good day. Peace. Damn it!